All right. I think I think we have a connection to low Earth orbit right now. We are capturing and sending this live stream through SpaceX Starlink. Here we have our friend Justin, Beard the Tesla guy. He is on his Cybertruck also. We are both on our way to California, and I am in Utah. Justin, why don't you introduce yourself and your story at the moment?
Yeah, I am on my way to Salt Lake City at the moment. I'm in the state of misery, and I'm hoping to not be in so much misery after this next charging stop, which will be my last misery charging stop. So, if it's not a miserable charge, we should be good to go. But I'm having the same issue that I had a couple software versions ago where the truck really does not want me to go at a low state of charge. It's really fighting me. And yesterday, I was filming some stuff and I got a really good example of it. Literally, I had plenty of charge. I think I arrived at like 10% at the charger I was trying to go to, but the distance was maybe 12 additional miles. So for 6 miles, it kept recalculating and trying to get me to get off the interstate and turn around and backtrack to the charger. And so until I got past that halfway point, it just would not let me go to that charger. And in this case, I actually just straight up like removed all charging stops to get to the charger I'm headed to at this exact moment.
Oh wow!
I totally get it, and quite honestly, like in the Rivian, that's something that's very eye opening. When you road trip in a Rivian, it does a very good job of not letting you run out of juice. And all Teslas generally the same thing, but they give you a little bit more leeway to work with. Now, if you're running low, it's going to start sending warnings on your screen. It's not going to let you purposely run out or accidentally run out of charge, but you used to be able to push it a little bit more, but I've noticed in the Cybertruck, um, man, it just fights me by going to these other chargers. So it really wants me to stop at this charger in Kansas City at 24% at arrival, and I don't want to do that. Um, I'll save a ton of time because I have too much excess charge, so I have enough charge to make it the additional, I think it was 45 miles, uh, plenty of juice to make it an extra 400, but it just doesn't want me to do it. So it's interesting to see how that has evolved over time. And I'm hoping to see, as this continues to evolve, that we start to see more customization in the settings where we can say, I'm comfortable arriving at this state of charge, like maybe even advanced settings where it's not like just on one of the main screens, but you have to hit the advance and then a warning pops up and says, if you mess with these, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And then you can start going like, hey, I'm comfortable arriving at a goose egg. And most people aren't. I get it. But I am. And I'm trying to get places. So I don't know if
Okay.
you guys have experienced any of that.
I used to, but I wonder if it has anything to do with versions. So I'm on firmware 2024.20.9. Is that the same that you're in?
Well, I just DM'd Dirty Tesla Chris, and he got me 12.5. So make sure you send him a DM on X. Uh, just send him a message. He's the greatest guy. So I guess I'm on a more advanced software. But if I wasn't on 12.5 right now, I would be on 20.9.1. And what did you
Okay.
say you were on?
20.9.
Okay, not
Yeah,
dot
I'm on
one.
20.9 right now. Not dot one.
Okay,
No.
okay. I feel like this was
So,
fixed too. So I'm glad to hear you say that because I'm not imagining that because I feel like this was happening in the early days and I feel like it went away after one of the software updates. But you just confirmed that for me, so I'm not going crazy. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I haven't had that problem right now for the entire trip, and I've driven just about almost 10,000 miles on this road trip since I left in June 10th. And I haven't really had that issue. I'm actually able to arrive with, you know, 5%. I've done 2% also at times. But in Canada, where I spent most of the current time on this trip, um, the charging network is very scarce. It's enough to get to the places, but it's not like here in the U.S. where you can have, like 10 different places where you can stop and you can kind of skip one or the other. It doesn't matter because you're gonna get another one 50 miles later or something like that. Um,
Okay,
so
so it's more like that is the charger you have to go to anyways.
yeah, at least in Canada. But right now, actually, now you make me think because a few moments ago, like a couple of hours ago, when I was going on my previous leg of the trip, I was supposed to stop at one place with about, I think it said like 10% or 11%. And so I got comfy and I started driving a little bit quicker. And then as soon as I went under 10% estimated state of charge of arrival, then it rerouted me to one that was sooner than that. I did not want to do that, but at the end of the day, there was a lot of traffic, and I've been like losing a lot of time because of the big metro areas. So I decided to just take it, and that way we could like grab a bite to eat and whatnot. So I don't think it's as bad as you described it happening to you right now, but maybe a little bit. Yeah. And right now it's really dark where you are, and it's really bright where I am. And I just left Salt Lake City, Utah. So it's
Yeah.
interesting the difference by just I don't think we are more than a few hundred miles apart, are we?
Oh, we are more than that. If you're by Salt Lake City, so I am probably what is it? Uh 4.5 hours more driving today, and then I have an entire another day of driving to get to Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. Yeah, at this pace, I should be able to make it to the Los Angeles area tomorrow.
Yeah. Is that,
Um,
are you gonna go straight there?
well, I have to go meet with a couple of people at a different location, so I'm gonna probably spend a couple of days with them before I head out to San Luis Obispo.
Kansas City game tonight, in case you were curious.
Oh, really? No, I wasn't, but thank you for letting me know.
There you go.
Yeah, so we have a couple of people on the stream. Hasn't been very active today, but Tony Pham is saying if Chris can send all of us 12.6. That's what he said.
All you gotta do is send him a DM, a message on Twitter, or excuse me, on X. Send him a message. Tell all of your friends to send him a message. I don't know how he does it. He's the only guy who can do it. This time I took a chance because they just released it to employees only, and I thought, what the heck? I'll ask him anyways. And then bam, like 10 minutes later, it popped up on my truck. So I'm probably the only non-Tesla employee with full self-driving on a Cybertruck right now. Thanks to Chris, Dirty Tesla. You're the man. Send him a message. And if he doesn't respond, just every hour, just remind him because you're just getting cycled through the list or whatever. Yeah,
Well, you heard it from Justin, bearded Tesla guy first. I am going to plead the fifth on that. I am not going to push anything because I want to be a first of a few.
you want to hear something funny?
So,
Last time, it ended up making its way to Reddit, and that's when things like really got out of hand.
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Oh
Oh man,
man.
that's crazy. That's just nuts. Let me
Yeah.
check here real quick with mission control here to see if we can check that the live stream is running fine. Can you check the X platform to make sure that this is catching up on the tubes, on the webs? So yeah, mission control is checking the status of the live stream on both YouTube and X. So while we get that update, let's set the stage for the next topic, which is what is the current state of several things, all things Tesla at the moment. We are both tripping, but not really tripping. But we are on a road
I'm
trip from both different sides of the continent. I'm driving from Halifax and Saskatchewan through the middle of the U.S., and you are driving from Florida. So you want to pull out a couple of topics from your drawer there, Justin?
Yeah, and just to be clear for anybody that's on the stream, I am not tripping at all. Um, I'm driving, and that would be irresponsible. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. I'm not tripping on anything. But
Road tripping, road tripping. Okay.
got to use clear words because people are gonna hound on that. I can tell you already. I probably already have messages of how irresponsible I'm being.
Okay.
I am
My
excited
apologies.
for this this quarter. Tesla incentives. We actually just got a brand new one a couple days ago. Um, okay, and he's gone. So we did get another one, a brand new one that had to do with if you have enhanced autopilot, which is pretty cool. We've never seen anything like this, but if you have enhanced autopilot, there he is. You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was trying to do something. I accidentally hit the refresh.
Yeah. Are
Can
we
you hear me
good?
now? Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this new incentive is something we've never seen before. This one is for people who have enhanced autopilot. So if you have enhanced autopilot and you agree to upgrade to full self-driving, I believe it's $5,000 right now to go from EAP to FSD. If you do that, um, they will allow you to transfer FSD to a new Tesla, and they'll give you $1,000 extra off for doing it, which is pretty cool. I It's something new. I think it's smart, and it might be an indication of the type of deals that we might see in the future. And the reason being, FSD, Tesla has been super reluctant to discount, to offer these FSD transfers. It baffles me, but they're very sure that they don't want to offer anything special with FSD. So this is a way for them to continue to drive revenue for FSD, but also offer that type of an incentive for those who have already made a partial investment with enhanced autopilot. So kind of a cool idea. So if you've bought a used Tesla that has enhanced autopilot in it already, it's another cool thing. So you can, pay to upgrade it to FSD into a brand new Tesla and get an extra $1,000 off. Pretty
So
interesting.
nothing for current full FSD owners transferring the whole thing to a new car without paying extra.
Well, so that's already here. So you're allowed to make the transfer for the rest of this quarter. So for Q3, if you have FSD, you're allowed to transfer that to a new purchase Tesla, and by removing it from your existing one. And you don't have to trade your vehicle in either. So you can actually keep your car and just take FSD license on your car and move it to the new vehicle if you want to do that. But this is the third time Tesla has offered that, and Elon Musk was pretty reluctant to do it, but here we are. So he claims this is the last time. He said that last time too. So, but he doesn't seem to be very excited about offering these types of things.
So, what about if I know this is probably pushing it, but if you have FSD in one car, Tesla right now, that doesn't have FSD, can you transfer it to it?
No, it has to be a new vehicle only, so you can only transfer it to a new purchase.
Okay, because I have the 2020 Model 3 Performance at home with FSD, but my Model Y, which is a long range 2023 Model Y, doesn't have FSD, so it would be great because they did that a little bit too late for me, so I purchased it without the FSD, and basically I missed out on it. It would be
Well,
great because the ultimate card could be sold.
unfortunately for you, that doesn't help move volume at Tesla. So they want you to lose out on both of those cars. And I say lose out because I got a trade-in quote on our Model X, and I about threw up. I was prepared for it being worth quite a bit less than we bought, but Tesla is offering $10,000 less than Carvana. It just, how does that make any sense? That's always been
Yeah,
a frustrating point for me. Um, some people seem to be able to get like a reasonable trade-in offer. I have never, not once have I seen a reasonable number from Tesla on a trade-in, which is really hard. So if you want to get existing customers to upgrade, which is a great market to tap into, these are people who have already bought into EVs and bought into Tesla. Um, yeah, that seems to be continuing to be a focus of making that a core part of their overall sales. So, but trade-ins, that's not helping at all.
yeah, especially if you have FSD, it seems like it doesn't have a lot of value on trading, right? Like it's
Yeah,
just
for
it's just the
sure.
metal, yeah, it's the brick that they are trading in.
Yep. I um, some of the other deals that are going on right now are actually pretty interesting. So last month we had the introduction of the military program, which is great. It's super easy if you are one of the identified categories. It's just verify me, which if you are one of those categories, you've used that service before. But it's able to look through the back end without sharing private information and just quickly, it's a yes, no kind of thing in the background. So once you go through the verify me link, then it'll automatically apply that discount to a new purchase. So $1,000 off for all military veterans, which is great. The other thing, we just saw a price increase actually on the S and X. However, with the X, we have now, if you buy full self-driving, they will allow you to equip a Model X with any of the seating configurations that you would like for no additional cost. And the reason why that matters is because of the tax credit. So, however, they're selling full self-driving, um, they're still able to somehow get that not included in the MSRP. I don't know how they're doing it, and I'm not saying one way or the other that it's right or wrong, but by paying that $8,000 for FSD, you're not actually increasing the MSRP, apparently. So in that case,
Oh,
yeah, you can get the tax credit still with a six seat, a $6,500 option. Because with the $2,000 increase in Model X, you cannot get qualified unless you get the base configuration, period. Not one single option. You have $10 under the cap. Now, if you pay $8,000 for FSD, you can get the six seat configuration, which is a $6,500 option, and still be tax credit qualified. So you'd save $7,500. So it costs you $500 to have FSD or whatever in doing that, was kind of interesting.
wow. Yeah, that is interesting. Huh. That
And
must
then
be
for
doing
the
some trickery.
yeah, and then for the Model 3 Performance, which is pretty awesome. Did you get a chance to drive one yet?
I Yes, I did. We had the opportunity to have a club members only test drive down in South Florida. So Tesla opened up the showroom Model 3 performance for our club and allowed us to do a whole day of testing, but it was only for club members, and now they're doing it for other people. But back in, what was it, early June, I think it was? Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
that's pretty.
It's such an awesome car. Um,
Yeah,
it's so interesting. The Model 3 Performance probably is the car that ruined cars for me. I'm a gearhead. I grew up around cars. I grew up in a shop. My uncle, to this day, actually still has the record for the fastest quarter mile in a four-cylinder on gasoline. Because at the time he set the record, the transition to ethanol was happening, which added, a ton of benefits to producing power. So to this day, my uncle still has the record, fastest quarter mile in a four-cylinder, which is pretty cool. Um,
well,
it's in my blood. It's in my DNA, and
uh,
Teslas have really ruined cars for me because I always pictured one day I'd have a Porsche 911 in my garage. But why? Like for after tax credit, we're talking high 40s. I can be in a 2.9 second 0 to 60 Model 3 that also has room for my kids, and they can watch Disney Plus in it, and I don't have to get the tools out to start it up every time. Like, it's ruined cars. And the Model 3 Performance is that car for me. It ruined cars.
yeah, I hear you. I'm like you. I used to race, and I used to build engines, transmissions, and all the good stuff. But uh, it kind of did the same for me, but at the same time, I understand because, for example, a Porsche is, what it is, and it's still a feat of engineering, and people that value more that stuff rather than the, logical advantages, especially monetary advantages versus what you get, bang for your buck, as they say. You definitely come out a little bit better if that's what you value. But there's some really works of art coming from the Porsche and some other supercar manufacturers, which I still love. But I think it did ruin wanting those on my garage again, at least for the time being. The last, I want to say since I learned about Tesla back in 2012, I've only wanted to like really dig into that, uh,
Yep.
and and for good reason, right? When I was a child, I remember the RC cars, both gasoline and electric, and the electrics seemed to be nicer because they were less noisy, they were quicker off the line, and all that stuff. And it's kind of the same thing with this. But my only beef that I have with the Performance Model 3 that I tested doesn't have anything to do with the way it brakes, doesn't have anything to do with the way it accelerates. It's that I learned that it still suffers from the same overheating of the battery. It starts limping after just a couple of laps on a road course. And I like drag racing, but I love road racing. So, yeah, they need to figure out a way to make them not overheat so that you can race against other cars that can go for 30 minutes sprints.
What's interesting? So Tesla's done an amazing job with their engineering on cooling of these batteries, and there's been so much, I guess. What does that say? Location with oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I had a notification that I really needed to read. um,
Okay.
we've had all this awesome engineering with cooling of batteries from Tesla, and so much so that the Model 3 community and the Model S community, who do some amateur racing, are finding themselves in leagues that have now outlawed Teslas from participating because it has ruined the sport for them. Because if you just show up with a $25,000 used Tesla Model 3 Performance, you have a better car than almost everybody, if not everybody at the track. And so they've started to ban Teslas from these events, which is pretty wild. Um, there's a lot of love hate there, and it's interesting. You also said something about it being, with like Porsche, some of these cars are a true piece of art. Is what has been designed. And when I talk to my dad about it, that's what he keeps coming back to and reminding me is, it's no longer about the performance necessarily. That's a nice piece to it, but it's about the art of the automobile, and that's what you can still continue to appreciate. And he's a big Jag guy though, so he's got his F type, and it's a lot of fun. It's super loud. It's obnoxiously loud, and it's just one of those cars that is fun to drive because it's just ridiculous and it's awesome.
Yeah, I will agree with the Porsche sentiment. Yeah, just yeah. I yeah. The thing with the Porsche is that it gives you that driving machine feel. You know, the grunt, the gear changes, whether it's Tiptronic or just full manual, sequential. Any of the like the GT3 Cup car. That car is insane.
Oh
For
my
example,
gosh, I know.
that's a car that if I could have one right now in my possession, I would keep it and take it. That would be my car for the racetrack, because I can do a 2 hour enduro on it, and I can probably, as long as I drive it well, it could be a contention for a win, right? Um, now, moving into that subject, since we're talking about performance and the Teslas, you know that Unplugged Performance is running the Tesla Corsa, and there's also other folks that have other series with Teslas, and what they figured out is, uh, if it's the same class, and they put them all together, and they're all gonna limp at the same time. Basically, the driver is gonna make the difference. So that's kind of a nice series because when I used to race a Honda Civic, front wheel drive with full tread tires because I didn't have money for slicks. And when it was raining, I was leading the race, even if there were Porsches or Ferraris. If they were on slicks, they would not be able to keep up with me, right? But when you're talking about all Teslas racing in a, say, Homestead Miami Speedway or in Daytona International, wherever, they're going to suffer from the same thing. So it's kind of leveled in that sense. But to put them against, even if it's just a short sprint, 15, 20-minute sprint, it'll take just one tire, I'm sorry, one lap to warm up the tires, heat up the battery, and then you do one hard lap, and then you have to cool down. And I just got the one finger salute from an asshole in a pickup truck. Just wanted to point that out. Um,
You got he
no,
cold rolled
no,
you
he
or he
flipped me
flipped you
off.
off?
Just through the sunroof of a
Yeah,
F-150, I guess F-150 or F-250 that has a sunroof, and he literally took his hand,
yeah.
complete arm out the sunroof and flipped it. I
Well,
wonder
yeah.
what kind
Your
of.
your presence has disrupted his manhood, so he's got to make
Yeah,
sure you know
probably.
that.
Yep, yep. So anyway, that's my comment about the Model 3s on the roller course.
I got a
Uh,
hand gesture today. I got it on dash cam too, so I've got to take a clip of it.
oh
But
wait, you
it
know
was
what? I'm gonna
it
hit the dash
hit
cam.
it, hit it. Yeah, so you can take a screenshot of that.
Okay. I,
But the one I got was much more friendly than what you got. I had a guy. He was very animated as they passed, and in a good way. And then first his hand comes out and it's a thumbs up, goes back in, then it comes back out like an Optimus heart. Like I got it on dash cam, which is cool.
that's insane. Oh wow.
I don't know if I told
Well,
you the story on my last road trip as I was getting home. So this would have been in Florida. Um, a guy tried to coal roll me, and he did such a bad job that when it happened, I didn't quite realize that's what he was doing because it was so pathetic. And so it took me a minute, and I'm like, wait, he did just try to coal roll me. That's what just happened. And so as he started to get, she started to slow down a little bit. I'm like, oh, he's gonna try again. So I whipped over really quick and got in front of him. And then it dawned on me for the next, I don't know, 10 miles that the lesson that, Mustang owners and Infinity owners have already learned, truck owners have not learned that lesson yet. That you
Yeah,
cannot stay in front of a Tesla. It's not going to happen. Your diesel truck is great and it does all these cool things, but you're not gonna be able to overtake me. It's not going to happen. So like this lesson is about to start being learned by these guys trying to coal roll. We got a whole new class to teach.
yeah, absolutely. I had a similar experience, but I noticed right away, and I didn't even push hard. Just had to push hard enough to stay in front of the guy, and then he
Yeah,
ended up just like cold rolling all a bunch of cars that were behind him because he had no, way to get in front of me, which is so
yeah.
dumb.
It's the same thing every time he would try to pass me, but he couldn't. He finally gave up, pouted, and like whipped 3 lanes over to take an exit really fast. And I feel very proud that I hit his ego that hard in that moment. I have a lot of pride in that. Felt good, and it
I just
sucks
feel bad
because
for them.
I love I love big diesel trucks. I do, believe it or not. I love trucks. I've always been a truck guy. As a matter of fact, I've had 2 diesel trucks. And so it's hard to see these guys so mad when they could just be open minded about it. You don't have to hate on
Yeah,
it just because it exists.
yeah. I mean, the aggravation of just getting upset for no reason, thinking that you're doing something cool, is so dumb. And then at the same time, when you're trying to cold roll, you're actually spending more on whatever fuel you're using anyway.
And at today's
So,
fuel prices too.
yeah. So I wonder if they're doing, because some guys just have a dirty filter and they just floor it and it cold rolls you, and there's others that have an electronic means of like pushing a button to just smoke you out.
Yeah, it's both the same technically method, I guess. One of them's just manual and one of them's automated. Both of them require dumping fuel into the exhaust system, and it's the same amount of fuel they're dumping in. And so every time you see that black smoke, you can just hear the register, $4, $4, $4. So every time that guy tried to pass you, like think of, all right, there was $4, and there's another $4. Like yes, he
Ah,
spent
man,
he spent like $30 trying to pass you. It's
that
awesome.
is crazy, man. Let's
Yeah.
see. I think we had a few comments here. I think we addressed everything that they said. Nancy's on top of the chat also, so she's directing the orchestra a little bit. And the night is upon me almost.
I can
You
see
can
that.
still, yeah, you can still see a little bit of the brightness of the sky, but I'm about to lose that soon.
You
We're at
should.
the
We
exact.
do we have
Go
any
ahead.
viewers right now? We should ask them what's the lowest comfortable state of charge upon arrival that people have. Mine is 0, but what's everybody's comfortable level? What's yours?
I can make it just fine with 1%. No, no concerns as long as there's a logical distance to cover that I can make it, or I'm going downhill with the wind pushing me. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think I've arrived with 0% a couple of times.
I've
Yeah, in the Model
I've
Y, with
tried
the Model, you know what, with the Cybertruck, I never done it with the Cybertruck though. I think the lowest that
I've
I've got the Cybertruck was 2%.
I got it to. I'm telling you, maybe I probably should have just done a couple laps around the parking lot. I was so close for it to turn over to 0% when I did my last charging curve test, and I just missed 0% in the Cybertruck. That would have been the first, I guess, for me. in the Cybertruck. On the Model Y, I've definitely hit zero a number of times with no concern.
Okay, here Cybermark says 10% is his max, and that it gives him complete control over the climate and speed. So that's one comment.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about that 20% threshold because the color changes on the battery icon. So it's like a visual to go with, the numbers there. And that's when people start to get nervous.
Yeah, I like to see the red. That's what I enjoy that one. Yeah.
I like to see no
Let's see.
color left. There's no bar, nothing there.
I think Gary, our friend Gary Mark, Blue Sky Kites, is on the chat.
What's
He's
up,
just
Gary?
gonna shout out to us. Hey, Gary. So I'm not. I'm a little confused. I don't know if it's just normal because of the hour and the day of the week, but I did a couple of live streams like this in the past couple of days, and they all got over 400 people joining. I haven't seen more than a couple of people joining on this one, but I don't know if it's the UI that's reflecting a low number or if that's actually accurate. Um,
What's it say on Nancy's phone?
Tony Fam and Sydney, Evie, they say hello from Australia.
yeah, but
And
what about the on the top? Does it say how many people are on the live stream?
I'll tell you right now.
But the good thing is that we're having a really cool conversation that can be then promoted after the fact, so people can just watch it as another video on the channel.
Right now on YouTube it said 15, and then I refresh and now it's 2.
Oh, Cybermark is saying that we have 643 people on X
On
right
X you
now.
have
Okay.
more. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I think I heard her say something about Australia. Was there a shout out from Australia?
Yes, we
Yes.
have someone from Australia.
Can you ask him in support of my theory that the Earth is flat? Can you ask him, is he currently standing upside down? And if not, can we all agree that the Earth is flat?
Oh my gosh. Well, our friend from Australia, the handle is Sydney EV. I don't know if that's a guy or a woman, but yeah, Sydney EV is the person from Australia. Um, I see a comment from Sydney EV saying 5% a good round figure. I think that was from the beginning. But let's see if they come back. If they're still on the chat, maybe they can let us know if they're
Yeah,
upside down or not. Um,
yeah. I'd hate for them to fall off the face of the Earth because it's round. I've yet to see a picture of a shipping container upside down crossing the ocean. So that's how I know it's flat.
oh my gosh, I can't believe we're
People,
talking about
people,
that.
people believe this stuff. Like it's so absurd.
Yeah. Hey,
Give a shout out to Tony Fam for me. He said
yeah,
hi.
Tony Pham from Tony. He makes the Bandit, the plate
Yeah,
holder.
I'll see him on Saturday or Sunday, one of the two, or both.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did you pull? So I'm using the visor light because it's really dark. Well, now I'm put the inside
There you
cabin.
go.
Maybe that's
Yeah, that's
is that mo-
now you understand. Now you understand my pain. I was trying to explain to you.
okay.
Now you get it.
Um, yeah, that's something else. Really.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to fight this.
uh,
Okay. Well, I don't have any more bird flipping people around me, which is good. Let's see. Someone's saying something else. Nancy, can you read the
From
next
where?
comment?
Okay, hold on.
I think it's. I don't want to look at the screen right now.
it's Sydney screaming that she's falling off of the ball called Earth.
I'll tell you right now.
Whatever is said is on the screen now.
It's refreshing on me. There it is. Cybermark. We know the world is flat because the Cybertruck is a triangle.
Did you hear that?
Exactly. Like, how much more logic do you need?
Oh my goodness.
Oh
If it
man.
was, if the Earth was round, it would have to be also round. But it's not. It's not a circle. It has no corner. It's a triangle.
I'm speechless.
That's the
Your
next. That's the
your
next
your logic
vehicle.
is undeniable.
That's the next vehicle from Tesla. It's going to be round.
So, talking about next vehicles,
Oh,
uh, yeah, we were talking earlier. I think it was, I don't know if it was today, earlier today or yesterday, but there's a new car coming. There's a lot of rumor about FSD. What do you make of all those things that are happening right now with all the chatter about FSD 12 point, what is it, 5 coming to a Cybertruck, employees have it, and then the robo taxi thing that was supposed to happen in August, but now it's pushed to October. What do you think about all that?
I have to be very careful right here. Uh,
Okay, hold on,
all I,
hold on. Before you say that, um, disclaimer: everything we're saying here is speculation. We have no inside
100%.
information. Yep.
That is correct. 100%. No, listen, I take I try. Sometimes I'll speculate on things, but I make it clear it's my opinion. I'm not a leaker. I don't leak, and I will not leak. Um, Tesla has made their position on that very clear,
Yep.
and I respect that in the team and the people who work very hard on these projects. That
Yep.
said, so we've got a new vehicle coming up, right? And then we were hoping August 8th. I don't remember what prompted August 8th, other than a post from, I think it was Elon posted August 8th.
Sounds
So what
right.
But
happened?
it,
Yeah, what
it's
happened was
it's
that a media outlet said, like, leaked some information, saying that they were going to concentrate on one thing versus the other, and then Elon came out and defended that by saying we're going to show the whatever it is.
gotcha.
And, yeah.
Yeah, and in true Tesla form, right? Like he's an optimist, which is why he named the robot Optimus, probably. So yeah, he's aggressive on his timelines, but it's not the date that matters. So it's going to be at some point, right, in the next couple of months, probably. And we're going to have this awesome event, and who knows what we're going to see. It's going to be really interesting. I will say this: I have pivoted my I guess my view on what I think Robo Taxi is going to look or feel like. Um, but I'm not sure what all we should expect from the event. All I know is this: it's going to be amazing, whatever they end up showing. And I think it was pretty incredible just last month when they, at the earnings call, when they shared out the animations of what their Uber app, right, is going to look like.
Hmm.
And when you look at that, of course they can just design that UI and not actually have anything happening, but it does make you wonder where exactly they are in the line of readiness for this next Tesla. And for me, I think there's two questions that need to be asked, that need to be answered, really, right? And we will know the answer of these very soon. So number one, um, robotaxi, is that separate from the $25,000 Tesla? And then the second question is, if not, does that just simply mean that robotaxi is two different form factors, where one of them is, maybe just for robotaxi fleet, the other is the literal $25,000 Tesla that you would drive every day like normal, but they're theoretically the same exact car. It's like a like a private owned one and a commercial one, or I don't know. However, I'm trying to frame that, right? Like, you is it one that you're going to manually drive, or is it one that's dedicated only for robotaxi? And I think um, that's going to be really cool to see how that gets answered. Hopefully, when this event happens, hopefully we get that kind of answer.
My fear for Robotaxi is that it looks too much. I hope it doesn't look anything like the Cybertruck. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
but so
What
the
can
reason
you
why I
say that?
say
Hang
that is
on. Can you
because
say that again?
I hope it doesn't look a lot like the Cybertruck.
Okay. So you think it'll be stainless steel? Is that what you're saying? Or
Look, the problem.
are you just
Look. The problem is that I think that if we want to, if the technology is ready, uh, you're also already going to have a lot of people that are going to try to block the vehicle, like it's happening in San Francisco with the Waymo and stuff like that. You want a car to blend in, not to say, "Hey, I'm here, screw around with me, so I cannot make it," and then you make Tesla fail, whatever. Because there were people going to be following those cars and trying to make them crash or just block them, etc. And if they just so when I started hearing about FSD, I thought my car, my Model 3, was going to become a robotaxi, right? And no matter what, any car that has a thing, now it's supposed to be something else. What happened with the promise that FSD going to be for every car that they make? Is that still on the docket, right? Like I just don't know what any of that means. Those are just concerns. I think it's fair. I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right. I'm just kind of wondering what the strategy behind it is.
and that question right there is right, wrong, or indifferent. There's a lot of people that deserve an answer to that question. For me personally, I never saw how my private owned vehicle was going to be part of some robo taxi fleet, which is why I never really bought full self driving. I subscribed to it when that became available. I, of course, have it in the Cybertruck, and it does amazing things, but I never intended to, share my car with people anyways. And that's why I always was of the position we need a two-tiered system. We need FSD for personal use, and then we need
Right.
FSD for those people who want to use uh, robo in the fleet for robo taxi, right? So you have a commercial rate, and then you have a standard a consumer rate, and that's the only way I think it works in the future, in a way that makes sense. So you can still people can still access the miracle of what full self-driving will be: access to reliable transportation. It can be your own vehicle, or you can pay massive amounts of money to license full self-driving to use on the robotaxi fleet, and that's like a revenue generating asset, right? Those are two very different things.
Yeah,
But
I'm the same club.
you have you have a very interesting perspective too about blending in. Um, People don't think about like the vandalism part of this, or the clout on TikTok, right? And if it did look like a miniature Cybertruck rolling around town, like it'd be an easy target. You're absolutely right. So it will
Hmm.
be interesting to see how those design cues come together in the end. And you know, as much as I uh, I would personally want it to be like this standout thing, and I'm sure the marketing people at Tesla would love for it to be, oh my God, there's a robo taxi, right? I wonder
Yeah,
how much it's going to be that, or how much it's going to be a what? Where? I don't see it. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
yeah. I think since we have been talking or hearing people talk about the Teslas being robots on wheels, that have all this intelligence to drive around, etc. Maybe even if it's phase one is like an Uber-like experience where it's a person driving the shared ride requester to take them to places. It's still the robo taxi because it's a robot on wheels, but it happens to have a human behind the wheel, and then eventually they roll out autonomy on it. I think that's what probably the best, path to having people feel comfortable with. Uh, I
I
guess a
totally
robo taxi.
agree. And the people that get bent out of shape about that too, there will be people like if they end up having a human in the driver's seat for a while, I don't think that's a big deal. But if that does happen, it'll be all over the news. Their autonomous vehicle requires a human to drive it. I'm like, oh God, here we go. right? It's
Yeah,
not a big deal like, for the development of this. I agree. It's not. It's a big nothing burger. So it'll be interesting to
yeah.
see.
As a matter of fact, I would love to see Tesla just roll out the ride-sharing app for current Tesla owners that even if the cars are not FSD active, they can just be on the Tesla network because it will grow. It will compete against Uber and Lyft and all these other ride-sharing services, and Tesla can become part of the map in that sense as well. And then when they start deploying more features like if they ever pull off the car is going to drive itself no matter where it goes and charge itself, right? Because it's a robo taxi, it should be able to also charge itself. Then they start deploying all those things little by little. But I think they should start with current owners that are already doing Uber or Lyft. They should, you know, have them give them a better commission, give them better benefits, and just have them swap from being an Uber driver to being a Tesla robotaxi fleet driver. You know?
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, and I think the speed in which it rolls out is going to be almost unbelievable because it's just going to be fascinating. And because right now our benchmark is like Waymo, which does amazing things in a geofenced area, and I really think that Tesla is going to be the one that's going to be able to break through and be able to get this rolled out nationally, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That is a good possible segue to the next thing. I think we have questions uh, from some people. I think someone hit a deer, saying make sure that we don't hit a deer like they did.
You
Um,
almost did twice. You did almost
yeah,
twice yesterday.
yeah, I know that was bad. That was bad. But thankfully we didn't. And I don't know if you saw at night there were cows on our way to the forest. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Um, and this morning when we were going out of the forest, we also had about I don't know. I want to say at least about 50 moo you know,
Everywhere.
cows and cows. Yeah, that was funny. They were greeting us in the morning when we left the forest.
Sorry.
So we are at 53 minutes on the live stream, and I know that we had a hard stop of 1 hour due
You
to
have 7 minutes until arrival for me, and then I got to jump
wow,
off
right on the dot. That's incredible.
right
So
on
we
the
timed
dot.
it perfectly. So Justin, is there anything else that you would like to tell people about the future of what we're experiencing right now?
No, I think it's interesting to see, like, for example, um, you have a next generation motor in your Cybertruck, and as we continue to see the Cybertruck, get these enhancements, and soon, more attractive pricing, more affordability. It's going to be fascinating to think about what the future of Cybertruck looks like. What do you think?
I think if they uh, somehow manage to increase the range or the battery energy density on these trucks so that it becomes a little bit easier to carry this big thing around for farther, longer distances. I mean, right now I've taken this to really remote places, and I've gone through some rough terrain. Believe it or not, I've seen this thing do things that I thought only Jeeps could do, and things that I've seen Tacoma struggle with. But at the same time, it really depends on where it is, who the driver is, etc. Overall, the majority of the people may not do off-roading, which is fine. There's a lot of people that just have the trucks because they move every year, or they help friends, or they have a small thing on the side and they need to carry stuff. But a lot of people don't even do that. A lot of people just have a truck because they like trucks. I used to like trucks just for being a truck, not necessarily for the functionality. And that's why I had the F-150 from the 80s and the 2000 and something F-250 turbo diesel. But those were work machines, right? I don't know. I think we're looking really good for the future. I think as they ramp up even more, they can drop down the prices even more. It's gonna be a little painful for us that pay full price and then some. But if the goal is to make the vehicles available for more people, I think they're on the right track, right? Lower the price, give it to more people, maybe with less features, but that's fine. Nobody, like, not everyone needs FSD, and that's fine. So you don't have to pay for that if you're not going to use it. I think that's where when it's really going to explode. But I think that's us being smart about it, not ramping up quickly because right now their price is probably higher than it's going to be a year from now, right? So I don't know. I
That's
think those are
right.
my 2 cents. And for the next chat, maybe we can talk a little bit just specifically about the capabilities of the trucks. Um, so you've done quite a bit of driving. I have probably the highest mileage Cybertruck in the world right now, at least from non-employees. And I have a lot of stories to tell, like from very pleasant activities that we've done through some really scary stuff. And maybe we can talk about those things in the next one.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think there's a lot to the story of the Cybertruck that, from non-employee perspective, that I think is a really good discussion to have. I think affordability is the key here right now, and with Foundation Series, I got to be honest, I'm shocked. I thought, at first it's like, okay, how many are they going to make Foundation Series? Is it 1,200? Is it 1,500? Something like that. But then they kept rolling, and I'm like, I can't hate on that. Like, yeah, sell them until you can't sell them anymore. All right, like this is helping to fund and accelerate the that crossover point where Cybertruck becomes profitable with all the capex that was involved. So they keep doing this, and then we learn that Canada is next on the list, possibly sooner than we realize.
Yep.
That just, in my opinion, that just kicked the football even further. Like I thought we were coming to the end of Foundation Series, but now that this Canada news is here, it's like, well, maybe we're not done just yet. And that's kind of fun, but at the same time, I want to see more affordable vehicles on the road, and the Cybertruck's no exception. When the Cybertruck is shipping for $62,000 minus a $7,500 tax credit, I mean, why would you? Yeah, some
Yep.
people have a real big issue with the looks, and I totally get that. This is not for everybody, but aside from that, why would you buy any other truck at that price point, at that point, right? My dad would never drive one, but he'll drive an F-150 Lightning, right? So it's the conversations that are happening, but we got to get to a point where it's affordable for everybody. And I know that's what
Yeah.
Tesla continues to do every day. And their engineers are the best in the world and have done some pretty amazing things already in bringing affordability across the line, which is good for the whole industry. But I can't wait for an affordable Cybertruck to hit the market because um, I hate the question when people ask what it is. The next question is how much was it, and I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an absurd amount of money that it's a lot. So
To wrap up, but I drove more than half of the Trans Canada Highway, and every city that I went to, I'm not exaggerating. Every place I went, pe- people just surrounded us. Every time I stopped to charge, even though my charge was 15, 30 minutes, I stayed for an hour. And I showed the truck to Tesla employees that had never seen it, like in Halifax, in Nova Scotia, and in Ontario we had a meetup with the Ontario Club, and we had another one in Saskatoon as well. I mean, everywhere we went, every time I went to a charger, there were people asking questions. Most people got it. Some people did roll their eyes. Oh, 100 and whatever. But I was also made sure that I told them this is a special edition. It's gonna come out with a lower price tag very soon, and you guys are gonna be able to purchase it as well. And then that's when people got excited. So I think there's a lot of people in Canada that don't like electric cars. Period. It doesn't matter if it looks exactly like their gas car. But there's a lot of people. I think it's almost similar to the amount of So I like to see it in a scale, right? I have for every hater that I have, like the guy that flipped me earlier, I have thousands of people that enjoy watching our shows, that enjoy watching the adventures and just asking questions. I try to remember everyone, but I can't, and they understand it, and everybody's so friendly. The EV community is so good, and it reminds me a lot of my racing days. The drivers community is overall great, but we are introducing vehicles to people that never thought about cars in their life, and
Yeah.
I think it's because Tesla is really breaking the mold with everything that they are doing. So I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Justin, I know most people know you that are on the chat. Regardless, please let them know where they can find you so that they can you.
Yeah. On YouTube, Bearded Tesla Guy. On all social media at Bearded Tesla.
Yep. Thank you, Justin. And for those of you that don't know, my name is Rafael. I have a channel Test Latino on YouTube and here on X. And I appreciate you coming, joining us today. Justin and I are driving to California from different locations. I'm driving basically from all of Canada back into the United States. Justin is driving from Florida, and we're gonna meet at the Tesla at the X Takeover, which is a Tesla and SpaceX community-based event. And if you have a chance to swing by, we will be there beginning this Friday, all weekend, and I hope to see you there. For now, we're gonna say good night and goodbye wherever you are. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
Peace out. Have a good one, Raphael. See ya. Bye.
You too.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.